never had something linger.
Didn't you say once that in the Monroe Club you had the most mileage?
Yeah.
I've been fun on my ride when I rode down to Monroe for the River Racing Tour. Friday when it's getting late, it's getting dark, I'm going, I don't go that fast, I'm not even halfway there yet. I better stop lightning or I'm going to have it's a voice north of Monroe.
To show up here.
Something to put on.
What do you have to say for yourselves tonight?
Get that camera out of my
Where's your bike? Did you bring your bikes?
My bike?
Where's the house?
No, I haven't ridden my bike in months.
Are you related to her?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes. Your
She's
sister?
my best friend.
Oh,
I don't like to admit it in public. Get that camera.
You own a bike?
Yes.
All right, well then you can be here.
But I just know how to ride it though. Yes, I do. Beat you bad. Do too.
Oh, you can.
I beat you in race. No.
I see your teeth have grown back. Last time I took a picture, you didn't have. No. Why not? Why?
Chance, Sarah.
Good.
Ravioli, cheese and crackers,
Did
and
you
the
make it or
salad.
did Brian make it?
I made it.
Did you tell her that I do too? I do too.
Don't you make him do any cooking?
He cooks during the week. I cook on weekends.
Oh, is that it? All right. Oh, that sounds good. This is yours here, Joe?
Yes.
How long did that take you?
Well, it took me about 1 minute and 30 seconds to order it and about 2 minutes to pick it up.
Oh, I see. From Kroger's or?
No, from Nate's across the street.
Nate's.
Because right now I have no kitchen.
Oh.
I have a bare floor.
How you doing?
How you doing there?
Ho, ho, ho.
Santa's helper.
Where's your bike? What'd you bring?
What did I bring? I brought some of Grandma's, yes, what is it? Grandma's.
There, I'm going to let you fiddle with that.
Anyway, it's great.
Food.
Food.
All right. Are you in charge of the food, Diane? Or what? What are
I'm
you?
in charge of getting it, making sure that it's arranged and making it put out.
Okay.
You have a spoon to serve with that?
Hello?
All right.
They're out there, okay.
Cake, I thought.
Good, glad to hear it. Bikes, aren't you, Mel?
Yes.
I mean, nobody gets in without a bike and a helmet, do they?
Well, the helmet is very definitely required here.
All right.
That's an order of And let's see, we don't need the spoons because we've got spoons.
You can't look at me. What do you got? Oh, aren't you Mrs. Bullet Bill?
I'm Mrs. Bullet Bill, yes.
Is it true that you threw his bike into the bed one time?
Wouldn't you?
Yeah? So it's true.
It's true.
How long ago was that?
Let me tell you one thing. It didn't do any good.
Didn't do any good, huh? Hey, it's Bullet Bill.
Hey, good to see you, Bill.
How far did you ride today?
0.
0? What's the matter? Too cold for you?
No, I was on vacation.
Oh.
Took a vacation the other day, went Christmas shopping.
Oh, you did? What'd you buy me?
I bought a new Cannondale.
Are you kidding? For me? I want to climb.
Do you?
Take it back.
Climb's a little better, a little more quality.
So your wife said that she threw the bike in your bed at one point.
Yeah, sure did.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
And was it cold sleeping with that bike?
Nah, it was nice.
Yeah.
I love to sleep in my bicycle.
Mrs. Bullet Bill.
I'm Mrs. Bullet Bill, yeah. I should have put Bullet Bill, Mrs. Bullet Bill on there.
Yeah, Mrs. Bullet Bill.
Has he bought the tandem yet?
No.
For retirement? Trade that big trailer in and get a big tandem.
Yeah.
With a motor on the back of it. You're not going to do that, huh?
Not a Dewsbury 10-second message live.
No.
Are you prepared to step down tonight? Do you have any?
Oh, absolutely. I'm ready to go.
Are you? Is this a tearful, emotional experience?
No, it's actually a relief.
It's a relief.
Yeah, but then I'm turning it over to good hands. What can I say?
Relief. Is that spelled R-O-L-A-I-D-S?
Yes. Rolaids, spelled P-A-T-T-Y.
Or
He buys those
Patricia.
Step up to this great responsibility of presidency. How does it feel?
It's an awesome responsibility.
It is.
Yes.
Now, do you think a woman can handle this job?
I think
I mean,
you're in big trouble asking that question, especially since you're on the board too.
well, no, I'm just trying to be an objective reporter here. I mean, I've heard rumors that women in leadership positions sometimes is questionable about our male chauvinist society. How do you feel about that? Are you ready to change?
I
this
think
culture?
I'm ready to change everybody's attitude.
All right. Very well. If you need help, let me know.
You got it.
All right. This guy come down from Clarkson. Or oh, you're Stoker.
Yes, I'm the stoker. That's my job.
Somebody would tell me.
And you keep feeding him the vitamins and the garlic from the rear seat.
Of course.
Where did you get the tie?
I got it for Christmas. It was a present.
Oh. All right, there's more than one Santa Claus.
I have two Santa ties. One's blue, one's red.
You have a bike tie?
Yes, I do.
Crash the party?
Not me. I paid my $2.
Oh, yeah? That's not what I heard.
No.
I heard you just crash left and right.
Not me. I've given it up. I just go by flat tires
Oh,
now.
all right. So they call you flat tire now?
Well, I don't know. No, Bob's thought of something better.
Oh, I thought that's what happened when you landed. That's when you get a flat tire. All right. Your button? Your button tie. Where's your name tag?
I didn't get a name tag.
Well, you better step over there. And
No smoking Dan.
Smokeless.
Smokeless Dan.
Big Bob, huh? All right.
You guys help. What's happening?
Everybody.
Quite right. How you doing?
Fabulous.
All right.
This is a very happy occasion.
There's only one way.
Where's Ed Thomas?
He's not here yet.
Uh-oh, he better show up. 'Cause I hate to really be on tape without him being around to make me laugh.
One way.
All right.
Is that right? Wife of one way and daughter of one way. Is that right?
Yep.
Welcome.
You got my teeth, I see.
Did you find your way here with one way?
I don't know if I can get home, but we got here
You're
anyway.
in trouble right now.
Yeah. I don't even.
Oh, let me see. What's her name?
Michelle.
Oh, Michelle.
Sleep.
How old is she?
3 months.
Okay.
How's it going? David. You're one of my first subjects of videoing. Where's your bike? Did you bring your bike tonight? You don't have one yet. Can you say hi? Say hello. Can you say hi? What do you got down here? Here, Dan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Complied.
You don't just happen to be close.
Just close. Second in line, you're a pretty quick man here. You're not taking very much of that. All right, Vikings.
I gotta start watching.
Oh, you gotta watch it. No testing the food.
Now, actually, there was somebody in line ahead of me, but she was going the other direction.
Oh, okay.
That chili band, boy, that looks good with big bits of green pepper in it. That looks good.
And no eating before you get to the table.
Get that camera out of my face.
Out of your face.
What's that camera?
There's plenty of food here. Make sure you take plenty. Come on, you can do better than that. No?
I'm real hungry.
On a diet, huh?
Yeah. Always.
I don't think there is any. Everything's salted enough. As a dietitian, you don't need any more salt.
How come a lot of food? How come the new president wasn't first in line?
I don't know. Something is definitely wrong here.
You're going to have to change
We're gonna
the
have to-
policy of this club.
Yes.
First item of business.
That's right.
Ladies first. Lady presidents first. Now, we're documenting this. We're
Yeah, I
counting
know.
the calories. Yes, there's 300.
Oh yeah, but this stuff is good. I know.
6,000.
This stuff is worth it.
Help this morning, Sharon?
Oh, yeah, he was really going to get out.
Where's your food, Lord?
Where's my food? I haven't got it yet, but I'm going to get it.
Okay.
Scalloped potatoes. That's what my grandmother brought.
Oh, is that
Her name's
what-
Charlotte Roger.
All right.
No, she made it.
All right. Your grandmother?
My mother.
Oh, your mother.
My boy's grandmother.
All right. Come on.
I'm just feeling great. This
Where's
is
your
fun
food?
to be here.
Scott.
Scott Bill in it.
What?
Scott Bill in it. Oh, Scotty. 68 years old and still pedaling slowly but surely down the road.
Really?
How many miles
That
did you
old?
get?
24, 40.
That's more than
what?
me. What'd you do?
What? Win? Win? Huh?
You won.
I didn't do it. I'm not guilty.
Oop. Tim Speed. Speed?
Spees.
You're on speed.
Spees.
Huh? Who's this guy? Who's that guy? Dad?
David, can you spell bone? David, can you spell bone? Ready? Spell bone. B. Spell bone, David. B-O-N-E. Bone.
All right.
Very good.
Did you teach him that?
He learned on his own.
Oh yeah.
He knows a lot of his letters already.
Great. How old are you? How old?
How old are you, David?
1, 2, 3?
1 3/4. He's 20 months.
21. David Moreno. That you've forgotten to tell us about him?
That's what you get when you ride a tandem.
Is that it?
That's it. This is Michelle.
You'll have to explain this later. Hi, Michelle.
You say hi.
Oh, she's a cutie. She has earrings on.
Yeah. She's just been sitting here really quiet. I think this is the youngest DCC member, I think.
Okay. Well, I've got her brother on.
Oh yeah.
Day one. Wow.
Hey,
she looks like a cookie.
Lowry.
She's a cookie maker.
This is what you get when you ride a tandem.
I can't ride one, so I'm safe.
Are you giving massages tonight or demonstrations? You probably have to pay.
Yeah, now that I'm an official, or that now I am official.
Official soigneur.
Official USCF soigneur.
You gonna tell us about your trip tonight out there?
I could.
Short summary.
Short summary. Yeah, I think I can manage it.
Well, you can tell Lynn where you've been invited to go.
What did I tell you? Tour de DuPont and Pan Am Games, maybe Worlds.
Yeah.
And these are the people that go to the Olympics.
You get to take a helper with you?
You want to carry my bags?
So we're counting calories. Okay.
Tonight.
222.
Count calories tonight.
I'm sure they tried it.
All you're going to get is pictures.
Your plate's empty. Come on.
Want me to fill 2 plates?
Yeah.
We can fill a plate.
No, that's all right, Al. There'll be plenty. I'm supposed to document the calories.
Years ago that if you got enough people for a potluck, you don't have to worry about.
This is what you eat before you ride, Bill.
It looks like your kind of food.
Yeah, it's
You
my
usually
kind of
carry
food.
your spaghetti in your pocket, though. Don't you?
Yeah,
And you can
right.
always fill up on what's left.
I sit down at Columbus every spring with my bowl of spaghetti. Remember?
Yeah, I know that. No doggy bakes.
Are you going to go to Columbus this year? You going to go to
We
Denver?
have coffee.
Banquet here? I don't recognize your faces.
Yes, that's what that first banquet here.
Make sure you take plenty now, because there's a 100-mile ride after this.
So where they got such bright tomatoes?
Right after this.
Yeah.
They're beautiful. I haven't seen red tomatoes after that.
You let Scott come tonight, huh?
Taco salad.
You had to come. You had to bring him.
Yes, I led him here. Yes.
She did the cooking.
Oh, you did. What did you bring?
I bought a casserole.
Oh.
It's called an all-in-one casserole.
Is that English?
Do you want me to dip you up some
actually
chili,
it's
Bob?
That's not.
Oh, okay. You want me to dip you up some,
It's
kid?
nice, Bill.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking pictures. It's really nice.
I'll
Nice to
send
see
him
you
to
here.
Jack. Say hello to Jack. I'm gonna-
Yeah, hi, Jack. Good to see you. We'll be down in February. I heard you're going to be too busy in
How many
February.
club members are going down in February?
You want some?
About 12.
12?
Going in January.
Yeah? Sounds good.
It's got lots
Where's the
of
baby?
peppers and onions and big chunks.
That's rude.
Oh, it's Rude. Oh, you have.
rude.
I saw her. Michelle. She's a future cookie maker of
How
America.
about you, Scotty? Are you
Training her. She's made her first cookie yet?
I don't think so, no.
Well, let's get on the stick.
Lynn has her.
Yeah, I saw this. I think they're adopting her. They're claiming it's a product of a tandem ride or something.
They can have her for a couple of hours, and then she's mine.
Actually, it's not.
Is this your first banquet with the club?
Well, I'm here with a friend who's a member of the club.
Okay. And you're Mark, huh?
Right.
Oh, welcome to the club.
Thank you. And you're obviously Bill.
Bill, Video Bill, they call it. This is your wife here?
Is this going on cable TV or something?
he's just my friend.
It seems like you come to meetings, don't you?
And I love these combination baked beans.
Marry those two. Could you watch the amount of food that you consume tonight? You're the speaker, and we don't want any belching.
Oh, okay. Well, it isn't the belching I'm worried about. You see, I have other reactions too. Yes, it's not the belching we worry about.
Watch the jokes, watch the
The kind of thing my kids would always love.
I want to know one thing. Is that a fisheye lens? Because I don't look good on fisheye lenses.
It's just a close-up lens. I get your nose. That's
Sounds like good bread.
Keep your eye on the speed, go ahead. Keep it straight.
Look at all that cheese.
Chili?
Yeah.
Bun?
Yeah.
All good stuff?
Boy, we never had food like this when Jack was president, did we?
No, we didn't. Darn Jack, he's too tight.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you wouldn't have anything good.
For all of you who know or just bring your attention to anyway, Downriver Racing Team is very appreciative this year of Mooney, John C. Mooney. There's a law firm downtown Detroit. One of our race team members is a member of that law firm. John C. Mooney in the First National Building downtown. It's a general practice, so please feel free to call. And also Central Distributors of Anheuser-Busch products. This year is sponsoring us under the title of O'Doul's Non-Alcoholic Brew. Central Distributors has been with us for several years now, and they are a very strong supporter of the Downriver communities. Their products are obviously around, and they support us. So if you support their products, I do appreciate it. On the sleeve is Criminal Defense Agency, I think. We know it around our family as SADO, or State Appellate Defender's Office. This is a state office. We are sponsored in a sense by contributors from that office. And each year they come together and give us a few dollars, so every little bit helps. The State Appellate Defender's Office is, they function, your right to an attorney is a constitutional right. This is the next level up. Once the rider has the ability to stay with the pack for the race, then when I can get three of those people together, now I have a racing team. And with that racing team, three people working together in fairly large packs can do an awful lot of damage. But again, you have to have these people who are willing to sacrifice themselves for the team, so that other players, just like a quarterback, the quarterback in a football game isn't going to make too much of a difference if he doesn't have a lineman up there watching out for him. We have several people who are good team players, but I'd like to acknowledge one in particular for his extraordinary efforts this year. I'm very proud to say Sam Bodlin for the team player. That's raw beginner moving, or we start more experienced, and because of attitude change or devotion, make major changes in your ability in the course of a year. So for the last couple of years, and I'm going to continue this year, suggesting that there is a most improved rider in our group. In the past couple of years, I've started named riders who started from fairly basic levels of riding and were able to, by their own initiative, improve radically. This rider didn't start from basic levels this year, but he started from a series of events that in the last year or so that weren't allowing him to come to his full potential. But because of an attitude change and a tremendous dedication and focus on developing his skills and then demonstrating those skills were worthy of acknowledgement, he succeeded in becoming, I think, quite a notable young man, a good rider this year. Brian Modlin. self-serving, doesn't it? Most of the coach started with There are a couple of mechanisms that we do have that the most improved rider and the team rider are, I think, just examples of how these riders can support their teammates to go on to bigger things like winning races, placing very high in races. And I think one of the most interesting things I run into in introducing people to the sport, especially the parents of the kids who want to come out and race, is, well, what does it take for them to win? Well, the first thing we got to talk about is what is winning. You know, winning does not mean necessarily being first. It just means surviving or coming in to have a chance to come across the line first. In other words, being in the top 10 somewhere is really good. So whenever we can measure a top 10 finish, I'm pretty happy about the way we finished. And then it's largely luck and how the rider actually comes across the line. This year, out of the races we participated in, if I can remember or look over and see my list, we had 104 finishes in the top 10 in the races that we were in. 21 of those were first place, and if I recall, let's see, about 20 or so were second, and 17 were second, and 13 third places out of those 104. Again, for the third year running, that's an improvement over the prior year, so we're pleased with the way we're seeing results. We're becoming more consistent, and we're at the head of the pack. I'd like to point out two of those riders to you. One, or in both cases, the riders are demonstrating an ability to stay with it. They stuck with racing all this season. And they've continued from the day we started all the way through the season until they ran out of races. That's important because that's a tenacity that will serve them well as they grow older. I'm going to break this up into an age group of 15 and older, and also then 14 and younger, because there was a difference in the number of races that are available to those particular age groups. For 14 and under, we have a man participated in, or placed in 1, 2, 3, 4, first place in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 races that he entered. Second place in another one, and a third place in another one, and a third place in 2 other ones. Devin Modlin, stick with me. Best overall placings for 14 and under. For best overall placings, same definition. For 15 and older, you can have David Solberg. David has had 4 first place, and I'm just going to estimate everything about another 5 or so second place, many seconds, and several top 10 finishes, including in these mountain bike events we closed the season out with, and those were the first mountain bike races that we did. Congratulations. There's one other element that I'd like to point out with these 2 young men, is that for the first time in the history of Downriver Cycling Club, we have district champions. What they succeeded in doing this year is, out of all of the people in their age categories competed in this state for district champions, which also then allows you to be available to go on to national competition. These fellows placed, David got third in track. Remember, this is for David, this is the first year we did track. And to enter into a track event in this state is to enter in competition with one of the biggest clubs in the United States, the Wolverine Sports Club, who was dominated by track riders. And David placed third. This is highly commendable. Congratulations, David. And for Devin, for young kids, some of the courses that we ride on the road are very, very tough. They're as tough as any one of us would want to ride for a day. Devin placed first in 2 events. One was a time trial. Now, they don't have a time trial for his age category, so he had to sign up for the 14-year-old category, and he placed first. Devin also got into the road race, and the interesting story about the road race that got passed around even up in Cedar, where we did the race, is Devin had to do a lap. This is 12 miles of a course that's around Sugarloaf Mountain. And the course is torturous. Anybody here has been on that course knows it. So Devin got out, and he hammered the course as best he could, and he finished it in about 45 minutes, if I remember. It's 12 miles in 45 minutes, all by himself. The thing about it was, we were out doing the Category 4 race, which is seniors, 19 to 29. They were running in a pack, so they could draft off each other. Devin's time in that lap was faster than one of the laps they did as a pack. So he really worked hard, but he just didn't try to post it. We have, anyway, state champion 2 times, and 3rd place. First time in his history of Downriver Cycling Club, so something to be very proud of. There is one other one, but we have to work out some details yet. And that's we started a thing this year for points champion, and we will continue it for next year. A points champion being, we recognize that everybody can't go to all the races. And even maybe like David, who just loves to race and he goes to almost all of them. If he even comes close in the top 10, nobody's going to beat him at a point. So what we do is we identify 10 races, and whoever goes to those races, we take whatever score you have, add up the points, and then we'll come up with a club points champion. That'll be announced in the next newsletter. I also invite you to take a look at our cool display here. There's quite an array of paraphernalia from this year. The base is provided by information Ryan brought back from Europe. This contributed to his award as being most improved rider. Ryan was, on the process of elimination and being invited, to be a part of the Fellow News Nike race team. This was a group of 35 riders that were sent over a period of about 6 months. There was about 6 riders a month. Ryan and another club member, John Honhart, were invited to spend July in Belgium, and they raced about every other day or so, about 15, 17 races. And these are not short races, and they're European styles. It's very tough, long road races. It was part of Fellow News Nike. The base, anyway, is provided from European newspapers from his trip. Some awards, there's 2 albums there. Please take a chance to look at those as documents our history this year. Our jersey, which has become quite well known, is a good one this year, and we're going to try to keep that same one for next year. And then the backdrop of some of the race flyers. Thanks for your attention. One very special memento, little thing. Any help I can get on the bike is greatly appreciated, and especially with, we have a situation where the young ladies have joined us this year in getting involved with racing. And I hope that they continue the interest in getting out and doing some racing. There are events for them, but I think what we found this year is we have to search them out a little bit harder. What we did is we were able to have the ability to get them out along with some of the other youngsters because people came out and helped. And Brian, as assistant coach, if you will. I appreciate your time. This year and finished up a massage therapy training program along with emergency medical training because we need it as our team. She's been acknowledged for this. The end result is she has spent the last 2 weeks in Colorado Springs tuning up her skills and demonstrating her abilities. And as a result of that, she's been invited to do Tour de France, the old Tour de Trump, as part of support for the U.S. national team. And also been invited to the Pan Am Games, which are they're in Cuba this year. It's every 4 years just ahead of the Olympics. And also she's been invited to assist the U.S. National team at the World Championships this year in Denmark. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
So what I'd like to do is put Lynn Phelps on the spot just a bit, if I could. Lynn, I'd like you to stand. And what I would like you to do is introduce the officers, the old officers.
I don't remember who they are.
Yeah, you're president.
Okay. Is that all I get to do?
Yeah, well.
I asked him for a minute. Okay, this year's vice president, and it's traditionally, at least the last 3 or 4 years, has gone to the race team, and Reg Modlin has been a faithful, and Lowry. Secretary Treasurer, who always showed up faithfully with her checkbook, was Patty Taylor. This Pat. Membership chairman this year, again, you know, does a really bang-up job, is Mel Batch. Program chairman this year, and it's the last year for a program chairman, is
which says something about
what was it? And a new member on the executive committee started in mid-year is the MGST chairman position that essentially is taking place of the program chairman. That's Wes Gross. Oh, yeah. Don't want to fool around. Yeah. I really didn't forget it. He's sitting back there. He's trying to get up. Our newsletter editor is responsible for all the communications we have in the club, is Brian Cahaly.
Can I say something? Sure. I'm not ready yet. Go ahead.
Took me a little bit. I just want to say that this year has probably been one of the most exciting years in my life, not only with cycling, but in everything else that is going on. When I took over as president this year, my second year on the executive committee, the one thing I noticed was there was a change. And it's one of the first years since the inception of Downriver Cycling Club that there was not an original charter member on the executive board. Now, the reason I mentioned that and why I think it's significant is one of the reasons why our club is still vital. It's still cooking, it's still moving. Why we have a fast-rising race team. Our touring is improving. We have life in the club. It's because of our willingness as a group to change. Willingness as a group to have and invite new members to direct and lead us. One of the downfalls that we know of any organization is that they become entrenched with the same leadership from year to year to year. And I want to say that this has been one of the most exciting years of an organization that I have ever been involved in. As a cycling club, we've tried new things. We moved in directions that are unprecedented in the past, not only for our club, but other cycling clubs. I think not only with the racing team, but with the touring half of the Downriver Cycling Club, we are one of the clubs that is being watched. We're doing things that other clubs want to do, and only hope that they can do sometime. And that's one of the reasons is that we are vital, open, and ready for change. And so that's basically all that I wanted to say for that. And I would like to see that change, that spirit keep moving. For those of you that are not or have not been involved in the executive team, executive committee, think about it next year. We've got a great new executive board coming in, some new members, some old, and they're going to do a great job, but think about next year. Think about your ideas. Think about new things that come about. I know in the first year I come on the executive board, one thing that I wanted to do as a touring chairman then was to have one ride each month.
Crap out of the way, last year I stood up here and gave away these awards, and I noticed Lynn tonight said, before you give away the awards tonight, read that thing. And I said, what thing? He said, you know that thing that you read last year. So, believe me, I don't want to do this, but I'm required to do this. The contents of the following presentation are strictly the opinion of the presenter and in no way necessarily represent the views of DCC, its sponsors, and or members. Boy, I tell you, either, you guys are tough, man, I mean, individually or collectively. But this year, oh, all right. As I see, oh, okay. I can't read my writing here. No, but anyway, yeah, that's right. Advice of counsel, I'll forget that. But anyway, what I did is Jerry Russell originally had come up with the idea of passing out ballots, you know, so I wouldn't get blamed for all this anymore. So I want to make sure that everyone understands that I didn't do this alone. All I did. Don't blame me, guys. You know, all I did was just sort of pull the results, you know, and come up with these awards. So, okay.
In other words, the whole club thinks this guy is a goofball?
Well, it depends. Maybe I give out the awards. No. All right, the first award I'm going to give out tonight is called the Wrong Way Ray Award. This is one of those awards that have become a tradition, you know. And fortunately for us, we have Ray Sawmiller to thank for this, that began with a very simple award called the One Way Ray. I'm glad his name wasn't Elmer or... But anyway, as it turned out, that began the Two-Way Ray Award, the No-Way Ray Award, the Wrong Day Ray Award. The list is infinite. However, this year when I passed out the ballots and I put all these on there, there must have been 15 suggestions for the Wrong Way or One-Way Ray Award. I mean, I only didn't have 2-day or no day or anything like that. So as a result, this year I'm going to give out 2 Wrong Way Ray Awards, okay? Now, the first one goes to a member who has been writing for many, many, many years. And this guy, we all know him, we all love him. He's a hell of a writer, to put it quite frankly. He writes every day to work. You would think after all these years of experience that this guy would know exactly where he wants to go. However, on Delmac this year, apparently he was riding so fast that he just missed all the marks on the road. Now this is a guy that loves to get up 5 o'clock in the morning, have his tent packed up, and he's gone by 6, right? Which means that he arrives at his destination by 10:30 in the morning, okay? Well, this year on Delmac he missed, and he got in at 10:30. At night. Okay. So, Bullet Bill Riley. This one.
150 miles to Petoskey.
It says 1990, Wrong Way 1. We got 2 this year, okay. Bullet Bill Riley, it says AM, PM. What's the difference? Wrong Way 2. Same ride. I had 2, by the way. Delmac was real good this year. This person, I want to, in all sincerity, say is a person that I've known for several years. He is the highest upstanding moral individual, highest moral values, and it was a little bit puzzling how he managed to get lost, okay, in a fog on Delmac. Now, he was ringleader of a group that got lost, all right? I'll name the 2 members, 3 actually, that got lost. One of them was Ed Thomas. I can say that because he's not here today. And the other one happens to be Ray Sawmiller. And of course, the ringleader of the group. Somebody that happens to be standing behind the camera. Hey,
wait a minute.
Now, let me just say here that I understand that from the participants in this that he was riding along and in the fog and said, gee, we must be going the right way because you see that girl in the red lycra? She knows where she's going. And in fact, I have a picture of her right here.
That's her.
She's in red, she's in blue. You know, that's just to show you. And there's a picture of Bill holding a helmet in front of his face. He was too embarrassed to admit it, but he actually got lost and led the whole group. So this year's Runway 2 award goes to Bill Richardson. And it says, must be on the right road, fellas. I see a stop sign ahead.
I'll take it.
I have another award that we gave out last year. Now, I don't know if we gave it out last year, but for sure we did the year before. It's called the Best Bike Gadget Award. Now, I've given this out in the past to people who've had computers that don't work, who's had water bottles that are on the seat, make a aerodynamic and they fall off, you know, things like this, right? Well, this year's award is no exception. The individual that earns it used to be an ex-smoker, okay? And used to be, right? Now, he's not a smoker anymore. He's converted, changed his ways. He's no longer a smoker. And as a result, he just, about the same time he stopped smoking, he showed up one time on a ride with a cowbell. Okay? And I became convinced this cowbell wasn't a cowbell, but in fact was a cigarette holder that he had just turned upside down. But anyway, Dan. This Bike Gadget Award, Dan Vaslich, it says, no, honest fellas, it's a water bottle cage. Pass this around, you'll see that it's a cowbell and there's a couple cigarettes hanging out of it. Now I have a brand new award this year. I call it the Sanford and Sons Award. Okay. Now, I was reading through the paper a few weeks ago, and I came across an ad that was in the Wyandotte News Herald, and it said, rent space and other things, and it had M and S and Sons, and I thought, what the heck is that? You know, I couldn't figure it out. What is that? So I had a friend of mine call up, and they said, we have some space to rent if you want to rent it out. And he describes big door, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And my friend said, gee, it sounds like a garage. He said, well, that's kind of what it is. And he said, oh, by the way, would you like to rent a water cooler? He said, a water cooler? He said, yeah, I got about 15 of them in the garage if you want to rent one. But anyway, this year's what I call Sanford and Sons Award goes to Mike Marino, Mike and Sharon, for storing all of DCC's junk in their garage. It's got a picture of a garbage can on it, right? That's our water cooler. And it says, Lamont, give me another water cooler. There you go. Congratulations, Mike. Okay, next. We have the Best Dressed, Best Attired Award. We've given this something fast. I'll tell you a funny story about this one. Last year I elected in my infinite wisdom, right, to give out an award to a girl who wears, shall we say, nice clothes, and she's shown up on her ride since. So I gotta be careful sometimes with these. Okay, anyway. I must admit that there were a lot of suggestions in this category. For example, one suggestion that came in had suggested Lynn Phillips and Cheryl there with matching tandem outfits. They've been riding a tandem lately and they had matching outfits. And my favorite one is one where she wears a t-shirt that says, I'm with stupid, and his says, or we could get a couple suggestions for John Stacklewitz, because every Wednesday someone noted that he comes up with a different riding outfit. So I called up Bob because I knew Bob had been to Europe and purchased all this stuff. So I called him up. He said, no, I'm not lending him anything. I said, fine. So then somebody said, well, maybe we should change his name from Crash to Cash. You know, that's not a bad idea. But then somebody came up with a suggestion that I couldn't pass up. And they said, you realize that we have one member in our group who looks like a very famous person. And I'm thinking, and the guy says, that's right. He says, Brian Cahalan. I said, Brian Cahalan? Who's he look like? He said, you put his chef's hat on him and you get the Swedish chef from the Muppet Show. I said, that's it. So this year's Best Attired Award, and you'll see there's a picture of the Swedish chef plus Brian with the chef's hat on. I kind of ginned it up a little bit, okay? And it says, Jipte Furter, Bork, Pork, in a Burger. I couldn't pass that one up. Now, we also have, last year, a new award called the Graceful Dismount Award. And this was given to somebody who failed to get their toe clips out in McDonald's parking lot. We won't mention any names, will we, Mel? Anyway. Now, it's, unfortunately, the person that's going to receive it isn't here, but I got to tell you a funny story about this guy. Here's a guy who his whole life, his whole working career is used to standing up in front of people, because he's a teacher. And he talks and blah, blah, blah. You know, and I suppose as a teacher, you can't react quickly to things, right? You know, somebody throws a spitball, you can't go, who did that? You know, and some kid goes, I did it, right? But anyway, so you have to kind of temper your feelings. However, somebody pointed out on a Wednesday night ride that this individual was coming to a stop at the corner of Telegraph Road and somewhere, and fell off his bike while stopping. Now that's not bad enough, but the guy kept right on talking like nothing ever even happened. So as a result of that, I decided to give Eric Schultz a Graceful Dismount Award. Unfortunately, he isn't here. And the award says blah, 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 blah. Oops. So anybody wants to look at that, I'll leave that up here. Now, next award. Next award goes to an individual. Oops, wait, let me get it here. This is called the Saddle Sore Award. Okay? And we're going to give it to a person who is truly deserving of it because of all the miles he's ridden this year. So the last count, he's got over 10,000 miles. Okay? In other words, when you think about it, in Tom Furstow wheel suck miles, that's probably about 20 good drafts, right? Okay? In Len Phillips sag miles, that's probably about 50 hours. You know, yeah, that's true. So anyway, but I'll tell you, this guy loves the miles so much that he actually added an extra 60 miles on at Tassel. Bob Lundgren. There's a picture of Bob Lundgren kind of relaxing under a tree. Yeah, good close.
I'm going to zoom in on that.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. I want to make sure this one gets on record there, Bob. Okay, but anyway, it says, yeah, miles, 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 give me those miles. Okay, the next one I have is the infamous Crash Gordon Award. Now, let me just say one thing before we start here. You know, there are certain awards that we give away that just kind of become an award in of themselves. I'm talking about the Ray Awards, you know, the One Ray Ray, the this Ray, the that Ray. And, you know, there's a certain elite that has developed out of this. I mean, for instance, these awards are given away to the same individuals so often, right, that they become ingrained in the club's history. Now, let me give you a good example. The Wheel Suck Award, right? Tom Furstow won that so often that we finally gave him the permanent Wheel Suck Award. Now I want to make mention before we go much further, this is John's old helmet who used to be the recipient of the Crash Gordon Award. You'll notice, you see his name on the back, Crash, right? Look at the inside of that, it's all smashed up, isn't that great? So we decided this year we are going to give this helmet to this year's recipient of the Crash Gordon Award. Unfortunately, I might make mention that John crashed again this year. So we, on task, I said he was tired, by the way. So we decided that we're going to give him the permanent Crash Gordon Award, along with his helmet. The tradition lives on. Okay, I got one last award to give away here, and this is for what we call the Fiscal Responsibility Award. I want you to know that the individual in charge of this year had overriding power to make decisions on behalf of the club, financial, fiscal decisions. For instance, when we submitted a budget for Metro Grand Spring Tour, and we put in an item, for example, like plates, okay, he had written down, have them use their hands, it's finger food, all right? And we had written down items like napkins, and he said, check into seeing if you can get cheap, scratchy toilet paper, okay? This guy is so fiscally responsible that after the club meetings, we have on occasion gone to White Castle's, right? And he orders 1 cheeseburger. So that being the case, in keeping with that tradition, we would like to give the Fiscal Responsibility Award, which by the way is a recycled trophy, okay? And there's a fiscally biodegradable label on this too, by the way, to Len Phillips. What you come up with? I'm not done embarrassing him yet. Actually, in all seriousness, Len this year really was, always there, always for the club activity. He was at almost all the rides. I saw him both on Tuesday and Wednesday night. Participated in everything.
Never late.
Never. Okay. So, in behalf of that, we would like to give him a gift. So, from the members of the club to you, this is a real good gift, by the way. I always have to say this because. So anyway, but there you are. And I want you to open up. See what you think. Yeah, seriously. This is serious. It isn't going to go, whoopee! This is a serious award. So be serious. What it is, if you look at this, it's a tandem. What we've done is we've mounted a plaque on it. It says Len Phillips, DCC Press, 90, yeah. Good. Now, let's see, what's up? Where's my pen? Oh, it's in my pocket. Oh, no, it's my card. I'll find it. Here we go. All right, at this time, what I'd like to do is make an introduction of the new officers coming up next year and ask each one of them to give us a little talk if they would, or whatever. But I'd like to start with our new president, Pat Gale. Pat?
Well, Len stole a lot of what I wanted to say earlier. I'm really looking forward to leading the club this year. We did a lot in the past year. I think we tried a lot of new things. And we've got a lot of new members, a lot of new good ideas. And I think we need a lot more input from all of you. And I'm looking forward to seeing more people get involved. There's a lot. The board is there to direct the club. There's a lot of things that go on. We've got our rides every week during the summer. We've got activities almost every month during the year. And so I'm asking for help from all of you. There's plenty to do. And I'm looking forward to a really good year.
Vice President again, Reginald Ollie. Oh, there he is. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
You get a moment too, on the board we have some goals and objectives for next year. That includes expanding our track program, just because it's an interest that seems to catch on this year. Maybe after the girls to stay with it. They did a very nice job this year. Highly commended, but they can do so much better, and that's what I'd like them to get going on. We're going to get interested more in trying to expand the instructional aspects of competitive racing to make people better riders. And I think with those as objectives, we're going to continue to grow very nicely. Thank you.
Next is
Say it's you invited out to Colorado.
oh yeah. You already mentioned that, didn't you, Reg? Okay, good. Next is Secretary Treasurer. You have anything, Ray Sawmiller, Ray, is there anything you want to say?
Just that it's a privilege to be a part of the club, and I'm waiting to find out exactly how all the finances are paid when it only charges you $5 a year. But we want to keep up the same image.
Touring Chairman Mel Batch. Mel?
Yeah. I called up an old founder, Jack Riley, and he wanted me to extend his greetings to everybody. And then while I was talking to him, I asked him, as he was leaving, he gave us an offer to come on down and visit him anytime. And I asked him if he was serious about it. And he said, sure. And we picked out a date. And we're looking at the 3rd week in January. The whole club, or anybody who can take a week off. We need to get back with them, and that's why I'm bringing up business tonight. I kind of like before the end of the year or by Christmas. I'm looking for at least 3 people who are interested, so we can reserve a spot down there for him. He's booking up fast. The whole month of February is already booked up. So, but January 21st happens to be the week of Martin Luther King's birthday holiday, so I thought maybe that would be a possibility better for us to get time off work. But anyhow, let me know if you're interested and willing to make a pretty good commitment, so we can get at least a party of 3 and then build on that. So that's all.
Okay, membership chairman, Bill. You have anything to say, Bill?
Yeah, I have a lot to say. We really miss Jack Riley, and what I want to do is give an impromptu award of the absent member award. Is that all right with you?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. And as a reward, we'll send him this tape, and all of you saying, "Hi, Jack." So, 1, 2, 3.
Hi, Jack. Want to do it again?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, I can see.
1, 2, 3.
Hi, Jack.
Oh, and hi, Marion.
Hi, Marion.
Okay. You didn't like that.
This year, too, we have added a new position, by the way, to our board. That's been the MGS team touring chairman. And Wes Gross, Wes, I'm sure you want to say something, right?
Yeah, so I just want to remind everybody that, you know, with the Christmas season coming up and everybody's baking, it's not too early to start thinking about baking your cookies for the MGST. We haven't totally arranged all the storage yet. I'm looking over there to our storage person, but consider your cookie obligations here for the year.
Okay. And finally, our editor, Brian, anything you want to say there?
In my year article, 15th of the month.
It used to be the 20th. What's the deal here? He works slow.
The JOA did it.
Right. Yeah.
He says the 15th will be in the 20th.
That's right.
Okay, I guess at this time, the only thing left is the raffle. Now, how are we doing this? Now, who's raffle chairman?
Sure.
Sharon.
Oh, you're Sharon. No, this is Sharon.
Oh, Sharon. Oh, that's Sharon. Just throw names and I'll announce it?
No.
How are we working this? I don't know.
Sure.
Sharon?
Yeah.
Come on up.
I'd like a couple people to help me pass it down.
Which that side?
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one. Okay. Everybody gets one. Just big people? Okay.
introduce these four. She's my daughter's mother-in-law. And she did this for Bob, with Uncle Bob's name and everything. I had them all packed for him, the names. And all of a sudden Uncle Bob said, did you see Mary? I said, no, but I'll see her Sunday. Well, I think she wants to tell you something. Mary put down her telephone number instead of Uncle